Welcome back to WordPress Widgets Front to Back. In this screencast, we're going to set up our IDE. Specifically, we're going to set up a project that allows us to manage our plugin files as we develop it throughout the remainder of this course, and we're going to set up the database connection so that we're able to manage the database from within the IDE itself. In this screencast, we're going to be using Coda, although you're free to use any IDE that you wish. Because I'm using Coda, this screencast is specific to that. So let's open Coda, and we'll add a site. We'll call this Widgets Front to Back. Now this name is just referring to what the site will be called here in the Coda dashboard. We're not particularly worried about FTP because we're not going to be uploading any of these files. However, if you're interested in deploying to another server, then you can feel free to fill that information out. The root URL should be left blank because we're going to be doing all of our work on a development environment. So in the local URL, we'll fill out localhost. Again, the remote root doesn't exist because we're not going to be deploying anywhere. However, the local root is in Documents, www, which is exactly where we installed WordPress. At this point, we're almost ready. The next thing we need to do is to set up the connection to the database. Now, we have to connect to it via MySQL socket. This is provided by MAMP. The specific path to the MySQL socket is located in Applications, MAMP, TMP for temp, MySQL, and MySQL.sock. For the username, just as when we were creating the database, and because it's on local, is root and root. Now the field for the initial database refers to the database to which this particular project will connect. Since we're using the Widgets Front to Back project, we want to connect to that database. So I will give it the name of the database that we created in the previous screencast. That was dev WordPress widgets. I'll click Save, and that should create our project. Once it's done, you should see a screenshot of what the site looks like. If not, double check your settings and make sure that you have provided the proper local URL and make sure that MAMP is running. Now, double click on the project and you'll see in the file navigator all of WordPress. We're particularly interested in the WP content and the plugins directory. Now we're not going to begin writing code in this particular screencast, though that's coming in the next one. The next thing that we need to test is our database client to make sure that we've properly configured it. So in this menu, choose MySQL, and you see it should be pre-populated with all of the information that we supplied when setting up this site. Click on Connect, and if all goes well, you should see all of the WordPress tables that were created when we installed WordPress in the last screencast. Similarly, you should be able to click on a table, in my case, WP_users, and you should see the structure or the database schema. You can click on the Content tab, and you'll be able to view all of the information of the users that exist in WordPress. Since we just set it up, all you should really see is the admin, and you'll see a hash of password, the nice name, the email address. This is all information that we supplied in the previous screencast. Finally, if you're interested in running queries directly, which we're not going to be doing in this screencast, the Query tab provides that option. To see it in action, you could type select star from WP users, run the query, and you'll see all of the users that are in the system. At this point, we're ready to begin writing code and working on our plugin. However, we're not going to be doing that in this screencast. In the next screencast, we're going to take a look at preparing the plugin directory by stubbing out some files that are needed. And then after that, we're going to take a look at some advanced tools. So we're just about ready to begin development. I'm looking forward to getting started on writing code, and I will see you in the next screencast.